Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. Recently, I read a book titled The Things They Carry by Tim O'Brien. My daughter, who's a senior in high school, just finished reading it and said, "Mom, I think you would really enjoy this book." The story was about a group of men in the Vietnam War that chronicled the things that they carried with them when fighting and the significance of the things that they carried in the life and how it affected their life. I've never served our country in times of war, but for the last 26 years, I have served the citizens of Mobile County and the great state of Alabama as a prosecutor, fighting every day the war against evil and injustice, fighting for justice for victims of crime. During those 26 years, I have carried many things. The pain and suffering of all the victims of crime that I have worked for and with. A wooden cross given to me by my dear friend to carry when I was worried about a problem. A traveling prayer sent to me by a parishioner in my church, reminding me that God had his hands wrapped around me every step of the way. A locket given to me by one of my friends to wear during trials with pictures of my 2 children, to remind me to go home and be a mother, even while in trial fighting a battle for a victim. The Optimist Creed to remind me to always be optimistic, because optimism matters. A stress ball to squeeze that says, "Don't worry, be happy," to try to remind me to be happy in the midst of tragedy and unthinkable evil. A small antique plate given to me by a victim's family to show me how fragile life is. A figurine of 2 small innocent children playing together given to me by a juror in thanks for what I did for 2 children who could not speak for themselves and had no parents who were willing to speak for them. During my own battles as a prosecutor, the battles between good and evil, I encountered people during some of the darkest times in their lives, victims. But during those times, I forged relationships with them and their families that cannot be undone. I've met the most incredible people as I have helped them maneuver through the justice system. Each of these victims and their families and the relationships that we have made me a better person. And I am eternally grateful to them and for the opportunity to help them. Trial after trial, battle after battle, for what is good and right and what makes our community a safer place, I have given my all. Today, I'm going to smile, I'm announcing my retirement as the District Attorney of Mobile County at the end of this term. I will not seek re-election this year. In October, a new law became effective that will allow me to retire that was not in effect in July when I announced my re-election campaign. I will serve the remainder of this term, and my last day in office will be in January of 2023. My parents are 87 years old, and I want to spend more time with them, as time with them at this age is precious. My daughter will be attending Auburn University in the fall, and I want to be the best Auburn mom ever. And as most of you know, my son is serving our country in the United States Air Force overseas, and I want to be able to travel and see him more often. But more importantly, my husband here, Richie, will finally have a wife who doesn't have to carry home with her all of the emotions and responsibilities of being the top prosecutor in Mobile County. During the last 26 years, I've constantly reminded myself of the saying, "You are only as good as the people you surround yourself with." I am who I am because of all of the people that I have worked with over the past 26 years, and I'm grateful for their insight, skills, and commitment to victims of crime. Each of the men and women who work at the District Attorney's Office, they do so because they have a calling, just like me, to do what is right and good by providing justice for victims and putting criminals in jail. They have worked tirelessly to be successful in our fight together, standing shoulder to shoulder with victims of crime and against criminals. These employees have stood with me year after year, working to make Mobile a safer place, and without them, I would not be where I am today. I'm also who I am today because of the love and support I've been given by my incredible family and friends and supporters over the last 26 years. The thank yous I've received from so many countless individuals in the community have kept me going all this time. There have been so many people who have supported me during this journey, and I cannot ever thank them enough. To each of you in the public that has stopped me while grocery shopping or school events or dinners with my family or doctor's offices while I was caring for my aging parents. I thank you for your kind words of encouragement that have been so important for the last 26 years as a prosecutor and 12 years as the district attorney. And to all my supporters who have contributed to our campaign or to the District Attorney's Foundation, I'm forever grateful as well because you have sacrificed for me to be the best district attorney that I could be. I'm pleased to announce that my Chief Assistant District Attorney, Keith Blackwood, will announce within the next week that he will be seeking the office of District Attorney in the upcoming election, and I have endorsed him wholeheartedly to carry on the vision that I have carried out during my term in office. As to my future, I know that I will always love my home and community of Mobile, and after completing this term, I will continue to serve and strive to make our community a better place. I trusted the Lord and the plans that He has for me, and I look forward to continuing to serve Mobile in some capacity and help make it a better place for my children and my grandchildren to come. It has been one of my greatest honors and privilege to be the District Attorney of Mobile and a prosecutor. Thank you very much.
Actually, this is just so abrupt. I mean, you had already announced you were running for re-election to get billboards up. What made you decide this now?
As I said, a new law became effective that would allow me to combine my 15 years as an assistant district attorney with my 12 years as the elected district attorney, and that had never been allowed before.
They were previously separate retirement systems?
Yes, they were previously separate retirement systems, and so that law went into effect this year in October, and that was after I had announced my
And
election.
that's when you weren't aware that they passed a law, I guess?
We were aware they passed the law, but we didn't know when it was going to go into effect, and we didn't know the parameters of how the retirement was going to work, because no one is actually retired under this new system yet.
And this, you get full benefits because of this by retirement?
Yes, yes.
How many years did you have to work as the DA to obtain full retirement?
You had to work 18 years as the district attorney 3 times. So,
What would you say is your biggest achievement in office?
there have been so many achievements in my career. I can't single out one particular case, but many of you have been with me through so many trials. You know that the most important thing as a prosecutor is when you can turn around at the end of a trial and you can look at that family sitting on the front row. Some of y'all have been sitting there with me over these last years, and I know that I can look at them and say that we did the best possible job we could do for them in providing justice for them, and that no matter what the outcome, we gave it our all, and we gave them some type of peace by at least presenting their case to a jury and letting a jury decide what the guilt or innocence of the defendant. And to me, that's the greatest thing that we can do as prosecutors, is to provide hope and justice for victims. And I think we do that case and case after case after case. The figurine was in regards to the DeBlaise case, and that was Heather Keaton and John DeBlaise. And that case was especially difficult, but it was especially rewarding because, we were there for those victims, those children, when no one else would be there. But there's just been so many victims' families that I've helped throughout the years, and they have all been incredible advocates for me and incredible support system for me, and I'm just honored that I have gotten the opportunity to meet so many people doing this job.
Do you anticipate maybe still working with the DA's office in some kind of capacity? I saw Deborah Tillman, who just in the hall before this press conference, who is retired. I believe Joe McMurphy has gone on to help with you in some cases. Do you anticipate doing any kind of work with
I would love to do that, but unfortunately that's still up in the air because this law is so new. There are some regulations in the law that we're going to have to seek further clarification from the Attorney General's office to determine if I will be able to do that.
Ms. Rich,
I would love to do that.
Sheriff Cochran also announced that he's retiring. There's a lot of law enforcement experience here retiring, or DA's office, Sheriff's office. What's your message to Mobilians that there's quite a change in the next year or so?
I have 2 sayings that I say constantly to the people that I work with here. One is, don't ever give in to the fear of change, and that the only thing constant is change. And yes, Sheriff Cochran has been a mentor to me. I'm very sad to see him retire, and I know there will be lots of people that are sad to see me retire as well, but there will be people that will fill our shoes and that will work just as hard as we have, and have the same passion and commitment that we do. I have no doubt in that. And I can tell you that the ladies and gentlemen of the district attorney's office that work here now, they want to continue that same passion and that same vision that I have. And so I feel very confident that this office will be in very good hands, no matter who the leader is. But I certainly want Chief Assistant Blackley to be the leader.
How many employees again with the office and what's the
Yes.
approximate budget?
We have 79 employees and we have a $7 million budget. And
And beyond individual cases, what else would you say your legacy is? I know you fought hard, even in court, to try to get more resources for the office.
you know, that was a huge battle, and we did get additional resources. And I think one of the proudest things that I can say as a great accomplishment is the salaries of our employees here. Our employees are our employees are higher, more paid well, and we are one of the highest paid DA's offices in the state of Alabama. And that's important because when I started here, the starting salary for a lawyer out of law school, when I started as a DA, the starting salary for a lawyer out of law school was $45,000 a year. And they oftentimes had $100,000 plus in student loan debt. Well, now the starting salary for a lawyer is $55,000 a year. And, you know, that salary increases very quickly. And so I'm extremely proud of that because we're finally able to pay the lawyers a salary that's commensurate with what they would make in the private sector. And so that to me is a great honor that I have been able to accomplish as the district attorney. And I couldn't have done that without the settlement that we negotiated with the county, and I'm extremely grateful to the county commissioners for negotiating that settlement with us and realizing what a important job that we do here at the district attorney's office, and realizing that you know, our employees need to be compensated for the work that they do for victims of crime in our community. In addition to that, I think it's very important the programs that I have enacted while I was in office. The Bully Blocker program has certainly been a huge success in the community. We have saved young people's lives with the anonymous texting program. I think that's been a huge asset that I initiated when I became the district attorney. I think our working in the schools and working directly with Dr. Threadgill with the Mobile County Public School System with our Youth and Family Services program has been a tremendous help to them in enforcing truancy laws and enforcing, you know, requiring our children to be in school and to help them with any issues that they might have in the schools. The partnership between the DA's office and the Mobile County Public School System is incredibly productive, and it's absolutely necessary.
It has been a really hard last 2 years for, I think, everyone with the pandemic and everything that's you know, surrounding that. Did that weigh on you at all? Did that play a role in your decision? Just how difficult these years have been?
Oh my gosh, I think every single person in this room, the pandemic has played on. You know, I'm no different than anyone else. And so we've all had a new set of rules by which we live by, according to what is the crisis du jour in the pandemic. And I'm just like everyone else in that regard.
You said that you wanted to spend more time with your family, but do you have any other future plans that you would like to achieve or anything like that?
I have no set plans right now, but I certainly am not going anywhere, and I certainly want to continue to serve this community in some capacity. I'm open for suggestions, and I certainly want to do what I can to serve this community in some capacity. But as any specific plans right now, I do not have any specific plans.
So you're not ruling
I've got a year to figure that out.
so you're not ruling out a run for any other office at this point?
I don't have any plans at this point to run for any other office. I do not. Anything else? All right.
What's your date of birth?
My date of birth? Why? You wanted me to tell the whole world my date of birth? Really? I was born in 1968. So, well, you want to see me a birthday present? It's September 13th, but I was born in 1968.
And Rich, how do you spell your name again?
R-I-T-C-H-A.
His last name is Hurt, though. H-U-R-T.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?